Microphone over to the voice of Tora, 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 Mr. Ray Norton.
Thank you very much, Danny. Good afternoon, everyone in Western Colorado. I'd like to invite everyone, men, women, children, please close your eyes for just one moment. We're going to open a giant chamber of imagination, taking you back over 70 years. Imagine with me, if you will, it's December of 1941. Europe is conquered by the blitzkrieg tactics of the German war machine. Britain is valiantly standing at bay. China and Japan are locked in total war. Half of the world is enveloped in bloody conflict, and incredibly, the United States of America is still asleep. Imagine with me, it's 7:55 a.m., December 7th of 1941. It's a peaceful Sunday morning over 70 years ago at a place called Pearl Harbor in the beautiful and serene Hawaiian Islands. As you listen to the Hawaiian music behind, America's greatest naval base is awakening this morning with most of the fleet anchored peacefully within the confines of the harbor. Imagine, if you will, that you're a soldier or a sailor. You had no idea what was coming. The Imperial Japanese Navy approaches and launches 183 fighters and bombers from Japan's first air fleet toward Pearl Harbor, and so confident of total surprise are the attackers that as they approach the island, the coded signal indicating a totally successful surprise raid is flashed back to the carrier task force just as the first bomb falls. Tora, Tora, Tora. Incoming raiders, but mistook them for a flight of B-17s due in from the mainland. The B-17s arrive, and like America itself, find themselves in the middle of a war that had not been declared. Listen to the sounds of gunfire on the sound system. The attack from the Japanese aircraft carriers Akagi, Akaga, Hiryu, Soryu, and two new carriers. The show lasts an hour and 45 minutes. Taking you back to that fateful morning of December 7th, 1941. Tora, 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 the surprise Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. When the first bombs began to fall, Army Air Force pilots Kenneth Taylor and George Welch were just returning from a night on the town. The two brave pilots raced to their planes, which were fueled and armed for aerial combat practice, and quickly found themselves in the middle of the real thing. The two second lieutenants caught up with the Japanese at Iwa, a Marine air base and auxiliary field close to Pearl Harbor field. Taylor and Welch quickly ran out of ammunition, landed at Wheeler Field near the center of the island, refueled, reloaded, and took off to fight again. These two brave pilots are credited with downing 6 Japanese planes before their own planes were disabled. As you see the bombs go off and the aircraft diving down for strafing runs and bombing runs, you can imagine what it must have been like that fateful morning of December 7th, 1941, when 183 Japanese fighters and bombers descended on Pearl Harbor and Hickam Field. At the harbor and Hickam Field, the devastation was awesome. Along the eastern edge of Ford Island, in the center of the harbor, 7 battleships lay at berth. The California, Oklahoma, West Virginia, Tennessee, Arizona, and the Nevada. The Japanese hit first with Cape torpedo bombers. The initial wave of Capes hit the Oklahoma, California, Nevada, West Virginia, and an aging target ship, the Utah. These Capes were equipped with special shallow-running torpedoes designed specifically for the attack on Pearl Harbor. As you see the plane beginning to dive, come around from its dive, you can imagine what that must have been like. You see, the shallow waters of Pearl Harbor would not allow the use of normal deep-running torpedoes. Then came the Val dive bombers. High overhead, you see the aircraft turning for its run right now with the Japanese rising suns on the windows. The Val dive bombers, armed with 1,700-pound armor-busting projectiles, made for 16-inch battleship guns, but converted to aerial bombs. These planes dive down just like you saw that plane do it on the Nevada and Arizona. Anti-aircraft fire veered the valves away from the Nevada gunpowder. A sailor on the Nevada watched the Arizona jump up at least 15 to 20 feet in the water and break into two parts. Forever in traffic, 1,200 American servicemen in an underwater tube. The ship sank in less than 3 minutes. Yes, this is the surprise Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. Tora, 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 practically 74 years ago. You're watching a recreation of that infamous day. That flight of 16 B-17s coming from the mainland arrive and are immediately attacked by the Japanese Zero. In the confusion, the B-17s were shot at by friend and foe, and the frightened crews landed those airplanes wherever they could. One of the B-17s in a pineapple field not far from Hickam Field. One B-17 pilot, a Major Landon, trying to land, said, "What a hell of a way to enter a war. Out of gas, unarmed, and no place to land." 8 of the B-17s actually made it to Hickam Field. Meanwhile, at Bellows Field on the northeast coast of the island, more U.S. Army Air Corps pilots were racing to their P-40s. Just then, Japanese Zeros appeared and started strafing runs. One P-40 pilot was killed as he stepped into his cockpit. 2 other P-40s were down just as they got off the ground. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the surprise Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. Tora, Tora, Tora. They caught us completely surprised with most of our fleet anchored peacefully within the confines of and virtually every one of our airplanes on the ground. 183 fighting